Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, all presenters, audience, and also committee of Taflin conference. I'm Irsyad as one of the online presenter in this Taflin conference. Would like to represent my literature review related to the topic of Indonesian's language policy on English. For my background, um, starting with the topic of language policy and language planning that give many contribution to development of language, according to Bonacina above in 2012, then Bailey in 2018, Krolitz in 2016, and Bagabian in 2020. This language policy becomes very important because it relates with English teaching and learning development of Indonesian people. And there is interesting phenomena that becomes dilemma in Indonesia, where inconsistency of the policymakers and government toward English as lingua franca against Bahasa Indonesia in place of the national language and as the cultural personality. This dilemma affects how English level of Indonesian people becomes uncertain, and because this uncertainty of language policy makes the development of teaching, uh, the development of English teaching and learning in Indonesia becomes cannot be developed uh, like the other Asian countries. And another background that I would like to explain is this dilemma of inconsistency of the English language policy in Indonesia. It because there is a fear that English can influence Indonesian culture and also language. And English is not close to what it must be and cannot be developed despite the concentrated effort. It is a fact that Indonesian students spend decades learning English from early age to college level. They still do not achieve English language fluency. The method that I had used in this research is descriptive qualitative, which has literature review research design. I use the keyword language policy and Indonesian language policy. Both are searched by using fast viewer with bibliometric analysis. And the result can be shown here that language policy has relation with language education policy and also language teaching. And the data shown in the first viewer is coming from published Paris with the same keyword language policy and Indonesian language policy. And for the discussion of my paper is the factors or the regulation from our government that makes inconsistency of English language policy is first from the regulation of National Education Ministry number 19 in 2005 about standard of national education 1670 verse 3 to 5. It states that English must be assessed in national examination. So this regulation makes English language becomes very important to be learned by students at every level of education and become the decisive reason that English is essential for Indonesian education. But on the other hand, in 2013, curriculum of 2013 was implemented, and it stated in the curriculum that English becomes no longer a compulsory subject for elementary school, and reducing the time allocation for the subject in junior high school and also in senior high school. Another verse about regulation of language policy which make English cannot be developed as part of daily interaction is number 24 in 2009 in verse 33, which declares that Bahasa Indonesia need to be used as a formal communication in workplace, government, and the sector of private. The laborers who cannot speak Bahasa Indonesia need to join the preparation of Bahasa Indonesia ability. The requirement to use Bahasa Indonesia in the workplace controls the use of English and hinders the development of the habit necessary for language acquisition. Tomlinson suggests that learning of a language is a process of formation habits. So, if many people cannot use the language while their everyday life activities, so it will be hard for them in acquiring the language. And still in Act number 24 in 2009, verse 35, it declared that Bahasa Indonesia need to be applied in scientific writing and publishing, while the foreign language of English is specifically can be applied for the detailed areas of the analysis. The requirement of Bahasa Indonesia in science oppose the global need to use foreign language, primarily English. In June of fourth class, it probably becomes one of the codes related to Indonesia's rank below its neighboring countries in the next in the rank of Simago. So this verse, this regulation declare that Bahasa Indonesia need to be applied in scientific writing, while the phenomena that surround us, that in writing international journal, in writing publishable article, we need to write in English, not in Indonesia. And this another act, another regulation that declared the limitation of relegation, the use of English is from Act number 22 in 2002. This first declared the limitation of regulation the use of English in television and radio broadcasting in order to receive the language. With this limitation, people also cannot listen to English broadcasting, whereas people who study many things from the language, like vocabulary, pronunciation, and entertainment, without sitting nicely in the classroom. It's like people in the countries where English is not the first language. In my research, I would like to give some solution that hopefully can be accepted by the government and also by the policymakers. That the first, English must be encouraged as a supplementary language by applying a multilingual policy. Among the concern about English, there is increasing awareness among Indonesians of the insistence of English. For example, English is required to enter many books of English and other resources on contemporary knowledge and technology. Moreover, despite the uncertain policy on English, students of Indonesia, as stated above, are conscious of the English importance. Second solution is the multilingual setting, in which English serves as English as lingua franca, that encourage English as medium instruction or EMI, and multilingual education MLE in colleges in diverse language countries as well as those in Southeast Asia. And the third solution is English learning and teaching in primary school should be returned, because learning the second language is highly recommended. Lucas proposed the critical period hypothesis that the finest age for obtaining another language is in the first 10 years of life, because it is then that the brain recall its maximum flexibility. Fourth, regulation should make English naturalized, just like some other countries in Singapore, India, Malaysia, and other in Philippines, where people are bilinguals or multilingual using culture, national, and English. Whatever diversity of the English somebody practices, it doesn't matter. Thank you very much for all of your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day.